Hey badasses, welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode I want to talk about money. Money, money, money. I used to struggle so much with money, with debt, with bills, with making money, with how I viewed money, with the thoughts that I had around it, saying, oh, there's never enough, money doesn't grow on trees, I can't afford that, we're always broke, the list goes on. And so I've been on this journey to, heal my money story and change my money mindset. And there are days that I still struggle, but I've overhauled my mindset towards money. And so I want to give you some tips on what I started and what works for me so that you can start being confident in your money and how you earn money and how you manage your debt and just how you view money altogether. Okay, but before I do that, I want to tell you to go check out the Badass 7-Day Challenge. All right, this challenge is 7 days to a new level of confidence, 7 days of trying new things, 7 days to get you feeling a little bolder, a little braver, and a lot more badass. Oh, it gets better. I'm going to give you daily action steps. You're going to get some videos to go along with those. And you even get 2 bonuses. Yep. I'm going to give you the confident money bonus, and I'm going to give you a designing your life bonus just for you. Okay. Still on the fence? I even created a private community for you to connect with other badasses. All right. And I want to tell you that I will also answer your questions live inside that group. Yep. You get all that. Want to know the price? Of course you do. Today's about money. Today, I'm offering this course to you for $37. Yep. $37. I talked to a lot of women. They wanted something budget friendly. Here it is. No more excuses, ladies. All right, head on over to sashadavis.com for more information. You will see the Badass Challenge there. Click it, join it, take action now. All right, on to the money. So, my money mindset, the first thing that I did to start changing the way I view money is budget. Somebody asked me, well, how much money did you make this month? Where did your money go? I was like, I have no idea. Bills? I think I make about this much. I had no idea how much money was coming in, and I had no idea how much money was going out. All I knew is that we had, at the time, we had more money going out than we had coming in, which equals more debt, right? So more of that cringing feeling, more of that backing myself into a corner and getting myself stuck. So the very first thing I did is, my mentor actually was like, track the last 90 days of your spending. And I'm kind of an extremist, so I went one step above that and I tracked the last 6 months of my spending. And holy shit, eye-opener. There was one month in particular that I remember. And this may be a big number for you. This may not be a big number for you. But in the spirit of talking about money, there was 1 month there that I spent $800 in like fast food and restaurants. $800, you guys. That is a mortgage. I spent $800 on, well, it wasn't just me, like me and my husband, like my family. $800 on food and restaurants, like fast food, not grocery store. This is just restaurants. Isn't that insane? And I'm talking, and nothing against like these places, but I'm talking like Starbucks, Qdoba, Crave, like all of these places we would just go out to eat all the time. $800 And then I wonder why I was broke at the end of the month. I spent $800 on going out to restaurants when I could have been, I don't know, paying down debt. Yep. So I shifted where that money went each month, and I started tracking how I want to spend my money. And so that was the very first thing. And then I made sure that I went back through the last 6 months and figured out which date my bills land on. You know, what days do my income from my job come in? How can I start budgeting, where that money goes and when? Like, what bills am I going to pay this week? What bills am I going to pay next week? Right? So that's what I did first. I started tracking my money, figuring out where it went, planning ahead. So let's just, you can use even numbers or whatever, but say like this next week I have $100 worth of bills and I have, I don't know, $500 worth of income. I would say, okay, I'm going to set aside $100 for these bills. Okay. Now, do I need gas? Do I need groceries? Do I need anything else to get me through this week? Okay. So I need to take that out of that money and set that aside. Right. And if I have any left over, I'm either paying down debt or I'm putting it in a savings account, which brings me to my next thing. So now that we know where our money is going and we're tracking our spending, we're tracking our income, we're tracking our bills, you might find that you have a little money little money left over. This may make you cringe. It used to make me cringe. I was like, oh my gosh, I have $20 left that I didn't have a budget for. You know what I would do? Go spend it. I felt so uncomfortable, having money that I just had to get rid of it, give it to somebody. I would just all of a sudden give it to a charity, or I'd be like, hey sister, do you need $20? Or hey, so-and-so, do you need $20? I just felt so uncomfortable having extra money because it wasn't ever something that I was used to before. So it made me cringe. It made me super uncomfortable. And I had to find a way to spend it. Get this money out of here as soon as possible. So what I started to do is I opened a savings account. And at first I opened a savings account at the same bank that I have my checking account. But guess what, guys? I still had access to it. Every day I still had access to it via my app that I have on my phone. So what did I do? Frickin' spent it. I spent it. I sucked at saving money. And so every time I would put, some money aside, I'd be like, oh, I have this extra money I could spend. And so I never saved anything until I decided to open a savings account at another bank, at a completely separate bank. And when I went and set this up, I'm pretty sure that the ladies thought I was nuts because I said, wow, let's be honest. It wouldn't be the first time that I was called nuts or somebody thought that I was nuts. So I go in there and I say, hey, I need to open a savings account, but I don't want to have any access to it unless I walk in here with an ID. She kind of looks at me and then she's like, well, we have this account, and they try and sell you on all these products and, oh, well, we have online banking and, oh, well, we have that. And I'm like, yes, that's all great. I love that you guys have that, but I don't want it. I want no access to this account unless I physically walk my ass through these doors with my ID and ask for money, which, come on, guys. I'm such an online person. I order my freaking groceries online. I hate going to the bank. I hate going really anywhere. I'm actually kind of an introvert. I'm an extrovert, when I'm with people, but I don't know. I'm an introvert extrovert. So if I don't have to go somewhere, I really don't want to. And I'm never going to the bank, when I deposit money there, I do a drive-by at night and drop a check in the drop box so that they have to, cash it. And then I never even see the people. So it's not like I can go crawl to the drop box and take my check back out. And yes, guys, I still use checks. I will get to that in a minute. So anyways, I set up my savings account at a different bank and I put money in it weekly. And it's not very much, but you put $10 away, $20 away, $100 away each week, it adds up. It adds up and it adds up quickly. I get these quarterly statements now, and every time I get one of these statements, I'm like, holy smokes, look how much money I have. And honestly, it's out of sight, out of mind. Like, I put money in this account and I just totally forget about it. And on occasion, I shouldn't say on occasion, there's been 2 times that I've had to take money out of this account where it was like, oop, crunch time, something happened. And it's usually with the animals, because I have 4 dogs. No, I lied. I have 5 dogs and 4 horses. And so the vet is my best friend. I feel like I'm there every other week getting shots or wormers or grooming or clip or whatever it is. I feel like I'm at the freaking vet office every other week, once a month. Oh, and I have a cat. I have a cat, and Oakland calls him Kitty. So, but I had 2 times that I had to take money out of this account, and it was hard because I'm like, how the hell am I going to get this money? You know, I work this time to this time. I'm doing this from this time to this time. I have to actually like go to the bank and request the money out. And that always sucks, especially because I'm like, this is a savings account. I shouldn't be taking money out. And they're like, how much do you want? And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to take anything, but right now I need it because I'd rather take money out of my savings than use credit cards because I'm trying to pay down all of our debt, which would defeat the purpose if I put it on a credit card, right? So that's what I do in terms of saving money. So on to the next. Let's talk about bills. Okay. Bills. I don't even like calling them bills anymore. I read this book called Money, A Love Story, and the author is Kate Northrop. And so I don't know if she coined this term or not, but she refers to bills as invoices for blessings already received, or she calls them IBARs. And honestly, it sounds better and it feels better. Like, IBARs. Yep, I just got some IBARs in the mail. And really, that's all they are. They are invoices for blessings you already received. You know, like your electric bill. You already received that electricity. You're just paying them for the blessing of having electricity for that whole month. And so you just change your mindset to more like gratitude. You know, hey, thank you for letting me have this running water this month. Thank you for letting me have this roof over my head. Thank you for letting me have this, hot water or whatever it is for your family for that month. And so I call them invoices for blessings already received now. And it just feels so much better. Like every word has like an energy attached to it, whether it be good, bad, neutral. And bills to me has a negative energy. Like, ugh. Even saying it, I have like the physical response. And if you guys notice when I say ugh a lot, like that's just my body's response. A lot of times I don't really mean to say it, but I'm really learning to tune into my body. And sometimes words that I say make me want to like vomit or give me that vomit feeling. And that's the sound that comes out. So I just kind of go with it. You're just going to have to learn to like it. Or don't, I guess I don't really give a shit. But I call them IBARs now. And that just makes me feel better. Like when I say IBARs, like I get like that warm fuzzy feeling, and I kind of smile a little bit and I just feel a little bit calmer, a little bit more relaxed. And then, when I say the other word, I feel constricted. I feel tight. I feel backed into a corner. I just feel negative. I don't like owing money. And I know that probably sounds weird because I do actually I had a lot of debt, have a lot of debt. So that's a step of mine that I'm trying to pay all that down because ultimately financial freedom is my goal. Okay. So I call my bills IBARs. And then another thing that I do, and you can do this or not, you may like it, you may not, but when I send my IBARs in to be paid, so like I live in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and some of the small companies around me that have our utilities don't have automated systems yet. And even like the banks, sometimes they don't have certain automated systems, which is fine. Like I could probably set up like an online payment over the phone with them. But honestly, what I do is I write checks, and on each check and like statement that I send back to them, I write thank you on it. I say, thank you for your services, whatever the services are. And it just makes me feel a little bit better because I'm sending gratitude to that company. And, there's an energy behind it. And whoever is processing that bill that day or that IBAR that day, I hope that they like open it up and say, they see it and they just feel that sense of gratitude too. Like, thank you for taking my payment. Thank you for processing this. Thank you for allowing me to have these services. And I hope that it makes their day too. You know, they get my statement, they open it up, they process the payment, and then it just makes them feel a little bit better that I'm grateful for that person and for their job and for that whole service as a whole. And so I kind of hope that I create like this ripple effect when I make payments. And I do that for a lot of things, even like online payments. You know, sometimes it'll say, do you want to add a note? And if there's like a note section, I always put thank you. You know, if it's a debt, I say thank you for allowing me the credit during the time that I needed it. Or if it's, you know, student loans, thank you for allowing me to take out student loans to further my education. Whatever it is, I always make sure that I send gratitude towards that payment to that person, and then hope whoever's on the receiving end feels that love and gratitude also, and then it ripple effects out. Okay. So those are some of the things that I do as far as like making payments and things of that nature. And then one other thing that I want to talk about is tracking your income and tracking your value. I think we as women often forget that, I don't know, we're always just so giving that we don't really track what we receive, and sometimes we kind of repel the things that we receive. So I want you to start being conscious of this, being mindful of this, and how much free things that you get or that you're repelling away. Okay. So for example, say a friend wanted to take you out for coffee and you're like, oh, no, I'll get it. Even though that they offered to pay, like, just say yes. And that's a value. Even if it's only $5, like, you're repelling that money away by saying, oh, no, I could never do that. Or if somebody wants to take you out to dinner and they're like, oh, I got the bill. And you're like, oh, no, I got it. And then you're like repelling that money away. It's like you're putting out into the universe, nope, I don't want your money. I don't want people to do nice things for me. I don't place value on myself. And maybe I'm just thinking it to the extreme. But this is how I was. Like, I was like, nope, nobody's giving me anything. Closing up shop. I can't receive love, can't receive money, can't receive any kind of goodness my way. Give me all the shit, though, but don't give me any of the goodies. And so it was kind of like a rude awakening for me on how much I was repelling money and repelling love and kindness and all of these things from other individuals, because I'd be like, no, I could never do that. But honestly, they're just being nice, and they're showing you that they do value you and that you do need to accept that, you know. And a lot of times, actually, I'm pretty lucky. I tend to win a lot of things, and, you know, that may trigger you, that may not, because I have been called, you know, a bitch before, because I've always winning things. Like this year I won free massages for a year, which honestly is a value of $1,200. And so every month, every time I get a massage, I write it down and I say, okay, I brought in $75 worth of value this month for this massage, which I would be paying for, which it wasn't like I didn't get massages before. I've always gotten monthly massages. So it's just, you know, an added value in my life. So it's like somebody just gave me a free $75 every month to go get a massage. Or last year I won a trip to Hawaii, and that was valued at, I think, $5,000 or $6,000. And that's a value into my life. You know, like that was $5,000 because I was going to Hawaii regardless. Like, I don't know about you guys. I will get into manifesting and the law of attraction in a future episode. But like, I was going to Hawaii. I didn't care how I was going there, how it was going to happen. All I knew is that I was going to Hawaii. And it's funny because as soon as like I made up my mind that I was going to Hawaii, this contest came up, and I was like, to my husband, I was like, we are going to this contest and we are winning. And oh, it was funny. And we won. And I'm not shitting you. It was like the coolest freaking thing ever. But it's like a $5,000 value that I had to add into my life. And yes, I had to pay taxes on it and that stuff too. But make sure that you're tracking all of these things, everything from a Starbucks coffee all the way up to a Hawaii trip. And you will realize how much money you're either repelling or attracting into your life even if it's not like monetary. Like it may not be like dollars in my hand, but that value is there. That same value is there. So that's all I have for you today. I want you to go out there and start budgeting. I want you to keep track of where your money is going. I want you to track all of your income, track all of your expenses, and I want you to start rephrasing how you consider your quote bills to IBARs, invoices for blessings already received. And you can read this in that book. Again, it was called Money, a Love Story by Kate Northrop. And I think she might have some online courses too. I haven't checked into those, but I really enjoyed that book. And I've actually read probably 2 or 3 dozen money books, and this is one that I read recently that in the IBARs thing is what I took out of it, and I really enjoyed that. And then set up your savings account and limit your access to your savings account. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. And then once a quarter, I'll get into that in another episode, but once a quarter you can celebrate, oh my gosh, this is how much money I have saved, and it feels good, and you feel abundant, and you feel alive, and you're like, yay, I'm actually making progress. So it's actually a really good feeling. And then last but not least, start tracking your value. Pay attention to where you're repelling money in your life. If you walk by a dollar on the ground, that's another thing. Like, would you pick it up or would you leave it? If you walked by a nickel, would you pick it up or would you leave it? If somebody offers you a coffee, would you take it or would you leave it? And so just think of those things. Like, am I accepting this or am I repelling this? Am I accepting this or am I repelling this? And then place a value on everything. Like, if you get a free car wash, what's that value? $15. Ooh, attracted into your life. If you win a Hawaii trip, ooh, $5,000 attracted into your life. Add that stuff up and make sure that you're keeping track of all of your value, all of your income, and how much abundance you're attracting into your life. Okay, this has been a few game changers for me. They're really simple changes. I suggest the first time that you sit down and budget, that if you have a spouse or somebody else that does contribute to your finances, that they sit down with you. This is so hard to do by yourself and then try to relay the message to somebody else. Guys are really numbers, I need the black and whites. So what I did is I sat down and I did a lot of the work, and then I was like, here, husband, this is how much we made this month. This is how much our bills are. This is how much I think we should, sorry, I'm clapping my hands in the background if you hear it. And so I just gave him the numbers, but I kind of made him go through it with me. Come on, husband. I'm not the only one here doing this stuff. I'm not going to spoon feed you and wipe your ass when it comes to finances. You are a grown ass adult. You can contribute too. So, unless your spouse downright refuses, maybe you just sit down next to them and make them super uncomfortable. And then that's what I did. I'm like, oh, don't mind me. I'm just over here doing the finances, being an adult. Look at me adulting. One of us has to. That was kind of how I tricked my husband into doing it. But if you have a spouse, I highly suggest that you guys do this together, because it's hard. It is so hard to do this by yourself and then have your significant other just go out there and spend money when you're like, damn it, I told you that wasn't in the budget. We're saving for this. And then they spend it and it's like you want to wring their neck. Or maybe that's just me. So spend, 2 or 3 hours sitting down that very first time doing your budget, and then make sure that you check it daily at first. Actually, I still check mine daily. Who am I kidding? If you're somebody that can get by checking weekly, by all means, give it a shot. But I have to track my money daily. Everything that comes in, everything that goes out. I journal about money. I have goals about money. I have a lot that I do surrounding money, because I had these old stories in my head that there's never enough. I live paycheck to paycheck. People who make money are evil. And so I'm just, every time one of those stories comes up, I journal about it. Where did this come from? Is this true? And it's not true. It's just these stories that we make up in our head. And so these are just action steps that you can do. I will talk in the future about money mindset question shifts and some of the journal prompts that you can do, because I could seriously talk about money for hours, but for the sake of keeping this, let's say, short. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. But for the sake of keeping these simple, easy action steps for you, I will get into the little bit harder, deeper stuff in another money episode. So go out there, start tracking your money, figure out where all your stuff goes. Stop repelling money that wants to come into your life. It's just like you're putting out into the universe that you don't want it, and that's false. There's abundance all over. By me having abundance, I am not taking abundance from you. We can all feel and be abundant and alive and rich together. Rich in health, rich in wealth, rich in wellness, rich in happiness. Like, rich doesn't have to be dollar bills. Rich can be you just have a rich lifestyle and you feel rich. Okay? So if you have a trigger when I say that word rich, ask yourself where that came from. All right? And then don't forget, this is your reminder, head on over, sashadavis.com. I want to see you in my challenge group. Come on, ladies. Bust outside that shell. Start being more confident in everything that you do. Your body image, your work, your health, your happiness, your wealth, your everything, right? This is a jumpstart, 7-day jumpstart where I will answer your questions inside the group too. Like, you have action steps, you have a PDF to follow. It's going to be awesome. So head on over, sashadavis.com. Check it out. It's called the Badass Challenge. It's a 7-day challenge, and I really hope to see you guys there. $37. That's a few Starbucks coffees, right? You can do it. All right. Until next time, ladies, go out there and be a badass. Talk to you later.